Mike Tyson has had more classic fights than any heavyweight in the last 30 years, but even among his classic fights, there are some that come to mind first. One of these happened 28 years ago. In August 1995, when Mike returned to the ring after 3 years in prison. But first things first. Before we jump right into the fight, let's take a look at how it all started. Reputation and public opinion play an important role in the lives of famous personalities, and this can be seen from the story of Mike Tyson's imprisonment. In 1992, he was sentenced to a prison term related to the rape allegations of Desiree Washington. Mike himself has always denied his guilt, but public opinion was on the side of the girl, and his reputation also played a role in losing the process. Judge Patricia Gifford was known as the Hangman for her toughness and intransigence. On the basis of the charges, Tyson faced up to 60 years in prison. But he got off with 6 years, of which he served 3. Not surprisingly, the return of Mike Tyson to the ring was awaited with particular interest. What will Iron Mike show after 4 years of inactivity? How much he has passed, in what state of his boxing reflexes? What if he doesn't exist at all? Everyone asked these questions. It was impossible to lose to Mike, so a suitable opponent was needed. And Don King found it. Mike's opponent was 26-year-old Peter McNeeley, nicknamed the Hurricane. He was ranked 7th in the WBA rankings. He had a decent record, 36 wins, 1 loss, 30 wins were won by knockout. But he has never fought anyone on the level of even Tyson's sparring partners. His record was inflated by fights with mediocre opponents. A few months before the fight with Tyson, he was not in any ratings, but suddenly, unexpectedly, he was on the 7th line. It's all King's work. Before the fight, Mike's chances of winning were estimated at 96 to 97%. But the fight sold so well that at the time, it was one of the 5 most watched pay-per-views in history. In total, 1.6 million pay-per-views were sold, worth $180 million. There was no such interest in Tyson's fights even in his best years, before prison. The hype was also helped by a hilarious press conference in which McNeeley read a poem from a piece of paper about how to kick Tyson's ass, and, if you haven't bought a pay-per-view, then do it before it's too late. Mike, on the other hand, went to the microphone for a few seconds and said that he was grateful to God that he was standing here again and ready to fight. And finally, the long-awaited evening of boxing has come. Before the start of the fight, the referee instructed the fighters and reminded the rules. At the same time, McNeeley was pointlessly trying to look confident, while Tyson watched him closely, as if a small insect was standing in front of him, ready to be crushed by a huge slipper. The fight itself lasted a minute and a half. McNeeley ran to Tyson as soon as the starting gong rang, but quickly ran into a left hook in the head and was knocked down. Hurricane pretended not to notice the referee's score and ran at Mike again. For a while, the boxers hacked at the ropes, but soon Tyson's punches again found McNeeley's jaw, and he again crashed onto the floor. As he got up, he began to stagger from side to side, and at that moment, unexpectedly, promoter McNeeley climbed over the ropes and was in the ring demanding an end to the fight. The public and commentators do not understand what is happening. The referee has no choice but to disqualify the Hurricane team.
That are landed here by Tyson, that one not being one of them, but inside he starts to dig a few shots, and Mike's a little off balance, his timing's a little off. Right here you'll see a nice right uppercut, bang! That's the one that puts him down. And you can see
McNeeley over and said that's it.
here you'll see it again. Tyson a little off balance with that hook. Now watch his uppercut. That one is clean. That is a clean shot. Mike goes back to the neutral corner, not knowing what's happening, and neither does Mills Wayne.
Mike returned triumphantly, and McNeeley gained worldwide fame for a while. A few months after the fight, McNeeley even began to advertise pizza, which, according to the plot of the video, knocked him out. But soon he suffered several more defeats in the ring, and they forgot about him, and if they remember, then only in the context of that very fight with Tyson. Mike also had to go through many more legendary stories. 2 fights with Holyfield and a bitten earlobe awaited him. Deprivation and restoration of a boxing license, new problems with the law, fines and probation, filming and creative evenings around the world. But that's a completely different story. If you liked the video, please like and share it with your friend.